seemingly every single day, there's another article that's coming out talking about the difference in the man in the middle, Detroit Lions linebacker Jack Campbell. And I am going to keep talking about it because this is the linchpin in this defense. This is the difference between this defense being pretty good and really good. If Jack Campbell can continue to produce, if he can continue to take that next step, as not only are the media personnel saying, but now the coaching staff is saying, and other players, he is going to take that big step forward to become one of the best linebackers in the NFL. And with this, that defense will too. All right. Hey, if you are new to this channel, we talk Detroit Lions football. We love the Detroit Lions, and we talk about them all summer, even when the players go on vacation for 6 weeks before training camp starts, because we can't get enough. And if you're watching this, that means you can't get enough too. And you've heard me make videos on this channel about how the Detroit Lions are just flat out impressed with Jack Campbell. But now it's coming from another source, and one that I trust well. It's coming from the man that we saw in Hard Knocks, that we all saw in Hard Knocks, talk about how Malcolm Rodriguez was playing at a level that is above anybody else in that linebacker room. And that was a rookie linebacker. And what did that rookie linebacker do that year? Well, he was probably the best linebacker in that linebacker room. That's what he was. And now he has turned his eyes, and he has turned his sights, and he has said that Jack Campbell is ready to take it to another level this year for the Detroit Lions. And that is absolutely amazing. Sorry if you heard that audio kickback. That was not my fault. Not my fault. Just random ad. So here we go. Here you see it right here. Mr. Shepard, Kelvin Shepard, behind Jack Campbell, looking like a proud papa. All right. And here's what he had to say. We'll talk about more, but I want to get you into a couple of the quotes. All right. He said, it's hard to get a full tell, obviously. Physically, on the linebacker position during this time due to the physical nature that we play, especially here. But he has exceeded my expectations, which were already high. Shepard said during the recent OTAs, he's come back further along than where I expected. So let's talk about what that means. Because if you have a man in the middle that's operating at a high level, that changes the entirety of your defense. Jack Campbell was not a bad player last year, but he was bad in certain areas. All right, where he was good was run defense. He earned a PFF grade of 75.9. That is not bad in any way, shape, or form for a rookie linebacker. Nothing to shake a stick at. All right, where he was terrible was pass coverage, which didn't really make a lot of sense because both his athletic prowess and his tape at Iowa showed that one of his great strengths was going to be pass coverage, like his ability to line him up with a tight end, to be able to stick with a running back, all right, things like that. And so I want to get into that just a little bit on what Campbell did. So if you remember who he was and what he did last year, he started kind of slow, to be honest, and it kind of really hit rock bottom in a couple of games. He was bad against Green Bay in week 4. He was really bad against Carolina in week 5, and then in week 7 against Baltimore, everybody was bad. All right, but then after the Chicago game in week 11, we're talking week 12 on, Green Bay, New Orleans, another Chicago game, Denver, Minnesota, Dallas, Minnesota again, he became that consistently graded middle linebacker. His coverage grade went from what's going on, this dude is completely lost, to okay, it's better. It's better. So that, to me, is where the difference has to come. The read and react can get even faster in the run game, but understanding what's going on the passing game. And Kelvin Shepard didn't shy away from this. Listen to what he said. He said, I'm telling you, it's at another level. This guy here's operating like an 8-year vet as far as making the calls, how he's set the standard of how we practice as a defense, and I think other guys are starting to look toward him now. So he has gone in the offseason from a guy that you are sitting there being like, is he going to figure this out? Because he has all the physical tools in the world, right? He's a great tackler. He's fast. He has sideline-to-sideline speed. But you're starting to wonder, like, is he fully going to figure it out? Because he's got, and I just said this on our other channel, Sports Talk Extra, where we talk about even more NFL teams. Don't worry, this is our main gig, all right? This is our main gig because we love the Lions. We started that because we love the NFL too. But you see the Lions gear. Don't worry about it. So anyways, I talked about on there as I was talking about another linebacker for the Houston Texans, Christian Harris, that Campbell is having that same uptick, that same trajectory where when you watch him on film last year, he almost looks like he's caught in the mud or has kind of some cement shoes at times, right? And now if you hear what Shepard is saying, he's saying like, no, he's there. The IQ is there, that he's operating at a different level. And with a linebacker, so often it's simply the difference between, do you have stiff hips or are they fluid? Are you looking like you're in the mud or are you running on cement, like on AstroTurf? Remember the old AstroTurf? Man, that stuff was terrible. Yeah, I don't know. So, all right, sidebar. When I was young, all right, and playing in what we called rocket football, in other words, football for elementary school kids, at the end of the year, we got to go play at the Silverdome, not Ford Field, the Silverdome. And nobody could have prepared me for the amount of those little green AstroTurf flakes that would get in my shoes. I never knew that could be a thing. I didn't know. Also hurt my knee right before we went, so I was barely able to play. That was terrible. But how cool is it that we got to play in the Silverdome? Really cool that they made that work. But anyways, there's a big difference between a player who you can tell just is thinking and a player who's just using his raw athleticism to play. And if Campbell has turned the corner in his mind, because linebacker is a really tough position to know. That's why they often wear the green dot. That's why they're making play calls. And that's why he's talking, Kelvin Shepard, about how he's at a different level, just calling the play, making the plays, making the calls, because he knows exactly what's going on. As a good linebacker, you need to know everything that's going on in front of you. You need to know everything that's going on behind you and outside, because you need to know everybody's job in order to do your job well and function well in the middle of the field. Who are you going to pass off when you have pass coverage? Who are you sticking on? Do you need to go running back on this one or tight end? Is it a run? Is it a pass? Like, there's so many things for a linebacker to have to think quickly on. And if Campbell can get the thought process right, I've shown you this before. Please stop me if I've shown you, right? His relative athletic score, he is the 6th most athletic linebacker to ever test based on the relative athletic score. Everything about him is elite, all right? Except his speed is just great. Like, he is a freak athlete. And when his head catches up with what his body can do and the mentality that he already has, look out. This dude is going to be scary for the Detroit Lions. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.